What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got 12. That's right, 12. I couldn't do 10. We've got two tiers. This video, and then we've got the next tier with another 12 of the best designers released in 2025, in my personal opinion. Of course, some of your favorites may be on this top tier. Some of your favorites may be on my second tier. Some of your favorites may not be there at all. But the key thing to remember, this is just my own personal taste and opinion. It's not the end-all be-all. You may feel differently, and that's okay, but there's no reason to bitch, whine, and complain in my comments to me about it. I just want to make sure to let you know. If you have a differing opinion, it's all good. Just don't complain too much. Let's keep it light in the comments, guys. Let's keep it light. So, these 12 particular ones, personal favorites, some of these from the very beginning of the year have been at the top of the mountain for me as best of the year. So if you've been sticking with me through the whole year, the top three are not going to surprise you. They have not changed because the final three are indeed ranked as my top three. The other 9 are just in a random order. So there's links below if you want to check any of these out. Let's dive into this. Stay tuned. Now, I don't have a full bottle. I have a carded sample. I was very indifferent on this release when it came out, but I can't deny that it's not one of the best designers released this year. YSL L'Absolu. Yeah, they came with it. See, I got half of it missing. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. It's smoky. It's darker. It still has the essence of Bleu de Chanel here in this DNA. I mean, this fragrance is really good. It's just priced like it's a freaking Raja Dove fragrance at a discounter. $275 retail for 100 ml for a mid-level blue designer fragrance. Like, this isn't their private line. You know, that's been my issue with it, is the price point. And yeah, you can catch 15% off friends and family sales at Macy's and all the things people are going to say. I get it. I've heard it all throughout the years. And go on a cruise and get it for 30% off. I'm not taking any cruises on a cruise ship anytime soon. So, again, all the things some of you are going to say, save the typing. I know. I've heard all of it already. I'm going to end up biting the bullet at some point to buy a 60 ml because I do want to add it to the collection. I do think it's really good. I still think I'm fine with the Parfum ultimately. But there's no denying that this was really well done. It's well executed. It performs great. I know that's a big one for a lot of people, that performance needs to be at the forefront. And I get it. I'm with it. It's still citrusy. It's still a soft, sensual, woody, aromatic fragrance. It's warmer in the base. Like I said, it's got more of this smokiness to it that you don't get much of, except for in the EDP. I find we had a nice little dose of incense. Here it's ramped up greatly. This nice raw leathery tone to it as well. Almost earthy-like with the way that this leathery accord comes across. It's just really well composed. A little pinch of spice thrown in there. It's good. It's too expensive is my beef with it. But, like I said, I got to have it in this top tier for designers released this year because it is one of the best designers released this year. I think most of us can agree with that. If you take the price out of it and you just explore the fragrance and judge the fragrance for all of its key factors of the way the scent profile comes across and develops, the way it performs on most people, because obviously different skin chemistries, different nose fatigue levels, you're going to get different levels of it. But all in all, the wearing experience on it is fantastic. It's a great fragrance, and I will eventually add a full bottle. But coming in to start the video off, we got Bleu de Chanel L'Absolu. Next up, I think Montblanc came really strong with this one, with Explorer Extreme. If you haven't tried this one yet, you are kind of missing out. This is really good. It's crossed between Sauvage Elixir and, like, it's got a lot of those elements, but it's still kind of its own thing. Still has a little hint of that kind of Explorer twist on Aventus is here, like Absolute Aventus, a little bit of Aventus, a little bit of Sauvage Elixir, a little bit of all these things, but kind of its own thing at the same time. Just like Explorer, you know, it's got a nice leathery facet to it. It's not super spicy like Sauvage Elixir. It's fruity, it's citrusy, there's a nice woody presence to this. It's a darker, kind of musky dry down to it. Man, I like this leathery, woody, musky smell with the fruitiness. Just really works for me. Again, it's not a very spicy fragrance, even though you can relate it to a lot of these fragrances that do have a nice spicy presence to them. Like I said, Absolute Ventus, Sauvage Elixir, super spicy. So less of that, more of Absolute Ventus. Again, it's not a clone really of any one fragrance. Definitely takes inspiration from some of these style fragrances, and kind of makes its own version of it and does a really good job. They're discounters. They're a decent price already. Obviously, Original Explorer is going to be less expensive and probably more of a year-round fragrance overall because there's more freshness to it. But I think this is their best work. I think this is, in my opinion, the best Montblanc men's fragrance money can buy. I really do. I think it's extremely well executed. I think it's hands down one of the best designers released this year. Hence why it's in this video. And it performs really well. That's always a bonus, right? So from Montblanc, we've got the newest Explorer flanker, which does not want to focus. Here we go. Explorer Extreme. Now, a major gripe I have with this one is it's so expensive. From discounters, it's like $173 for 100 ml. I paid like $130 for this 60 ml from Fragflex. It's... what? It's really, like, come on. These designers, it's getting a little out of hand. They're using the whole, inflation economy thing. Like, that's trending downward, actually, guys. So y'all can't use that excuse on why your materials cost so much, even though y'all buy at a astronomically large mass quantity of lower grade oils. And most of these companies own the factories that make their glass and their atoms. See what I'm saying? Like, MYSLF L'Absolu is phenomenal. That's why it's in this video. It's one of the best designers released this year, in my opinion. One of the 12 best designer fragrances released this year. That's what this video is. That's what this fragrance is. But this shit's overpriced. Not as overpriced as Bleu de Chanel exclusive, but close. Again, from discounters, this 60 ml, $130. Right now, going rate's $173 last I looked like a week ago for the 100 ml. From discounters. That's a lot. So, parent companies of these designers, you want to know why these Middle Eastern clone fragrances are so popular? Look at what you're charging. And I'm a designer kind of guy, but the customer base, the consumers, have a legit argument on why they're going that route. Because y'all are charging too fucking much. Y'all just are. Y'all are charging straight up niche prices for these designer fragrances, synthetic designer fragrances now. Trend fragrances at that. So, rant, we start off with some 2 out of the 3 are just far too expensive. Montblanc Explorer Extreme, not. Pretty affordable, actually. But this fragrance, they take what's popular and super wearable about that fresh, sweet orange blossom woody smell of myself and MYSLF Le Parfum, and they add this cardamom spiced, slightly greener element to it, a little bit of an earthy tone, and just, it makes it better. I think it's the best one of the 3. Unfortunately, it's the most expensive one of the 3. And some of you will say, oh, just get Dumont Nitro Elixir. Yeah, it does get pretty close. When you do a side-by-side, this is a better, richer fragrance, in my opinion. Again, if you're cool with almost, yeah, Nitro Elixir is really good. It is really good. It's just not quite this. That's my thing. Like, take price out of it. Even with price factoring in, I prefer this fragrance, but because it is just so good. That's the downside to the price point, is it is really good. Try before you buy, obviously. Get out and sample it. If you did or do like one of the first 2 in this line, you're probably really going to enjoy this one because I think it's the best of the bunch. I don't know how they're going to top this one. I'm sure at some point they'll probably do an elixir, and they got big shoes to fill because, in my opinion, one of the best designers released this year is MYSLF L'Absolu. Fruits, sweetness, leathery, wood, a lot of woodiness to this, a little bit of earthy tones. I think it's my favorite one. In the previous release was kind of my favorite because it was a blend of all the other ones. We're talking the Ferragamo line. We're talking Sublime leather. This stuff's banging. It's fruity, apple, pineapple. You got spices like cinnamon. There's a labdanum, gives a little bit of this leathery feel. There's a variety of woody notes like cedar wood, for example. I believe there's a little bit of sandalwood in here as well. Divana adds in, additional sweetness to the fruitiness. It's got this slightly black, leathery type of accord. The way the labdanum mixes with these other notes, it is beautiful. Really good performer. It's a sweet leather fragrance, is how you could look at it. Sweet woody leather, super wearable, super mass appealing, and easy to like. It's not spicy like red leather and spicy leather. Bright leather offered more this blonde wood kind of thing going with the softer leather accord and some citruses. Red leather took the highlights of bright leather and spicy leather and added iris, which was going to be hard to top. And I'll be damned if they didn't, because I like a good sweet designer. But this one's really well done, where it doesn't remind me of a bunch of other sweet designers because it's based around kind of a black leather accord. The sweetness isn't typical of just vanilla tonka bean. It's Divana apple pineapple that gives you this fruity sweet kind of soft powdery accord early on. It's really good. It's really good. Casual on up to semi-casual. Could work on dates as well. Nothing I would want to dress up formally, semi-formal or anything. Business attire. Maybe a little too sweet and casual for something like that, but just a daily wear for somebody that likes a good sweet fragrance. It's well composed. This is awesome. It's affordable already, as most Ferragamo fragrances tend to get pretty quickly. And I think it's really good. I think it's one of the best releases of the year, for sure. Ferragamo, Sublime Leather. Now, I've had people argue with me that Ralph's Club's Elixir is still the best one in the line. And look, that's a beautiful, earthy, iris, woody, smoky fragrance. It's very dressy, very semi-formal on up. And if you like to wear fragrances that really feel like they should be dressed up all the fucking time, that's a situational dressy fragrance for me. Okay, I get it. It's amazing, but it's not a daily wear fragrance. Not if you don't want to smell like you should be in a tuxedo when you're wearing a graphic tee. Some of you are rolling like that, and hey, you got the confidence for it. Do your thing, boo-boo. I ain't knocking the hustle. But for me, Ralph's Club New York, I think is the best in the line because it offers levels of wearability and versatility that you get from the first two, with a deeper fragrance overall that's maybe not as complex and elegant as the Elixir. It kind of falls in between, I think, the Parfum and the Elixir with wearability and depth. It's a little fruity from black currant. You have citruses and stuff like that, a little bit of spices. Of course, it's based around that woody aromatic DNA, lavender and vetiver and stuff like that from the original's DNA. Above average performance, not a beast by any means, but this is a damn good fragrance. High compliment factor. We have a little touch of vanilla in here to add some sweetness. This is really good. Fingerprint magnet bottle, but they did great. This was, I think, the best Ralph Lauren fragrance released this year over Polo 67 EDP. I think it was a better release all in all, which Polo 67 EDP was phenomenal too, but not as good as this. I would take this over Polo 67 EDP because Polo 67 EDT, there's an argument for it being better. It's a pick your poison thing with those two. One's really not better than the other. Whereas here, there's a defined difference with the way they added to this DNA. They evolved it properly, in my opinion. So, for so many reasons, I think Ralph's Club New York, one of the best designers released this year. This is a polarizing one, but I stood tall on this from the moment I smelled it because it's unique. Stays true to the DNA, but there's so many things that make it unique, from coffee to straight up a dry bag of lava rocks at Lowe's smell. Some of you know what I mean when I say that one. What fragrance we're talking about. Terre d'Hermès, Eau Parfum Intense. Man, is this good. Oh my. Very super acidic orange lava rock, dry. Dries the senses. It's potent because it'll dry you out so much. It's so good though. What an interesting flanker to make. Hermès, they continue to not follow any molds, any trends. They do their own thing, both with this Terre d'Hermès line and with the H24 line. I love what they do. I really do. I love what they do. I think this is an absolute home run. Absolute home run of a fragrance. Performance is really good. It dries into that vetiver DNA. It's not as earthy as some of the other entries, but heavy on the acidity with the citrus at the top because of the lava rock cord. A little bit of coffee in there kind of gives it some depth, a little bit of a darker nuance to it. I wouldn't call it a coffee fragrance by any means, but a noticeable hit of coffee in the heart of this one. Just stunning. Stunning. Get out and try this one if you want something different, especially if you're an Hermes fan with some of their work. You owe it to yourself to try this one. I think they outdid themselves with this. Terre Hermes EDP Intense. I stand tall on this. I stood tall on it from the moment I smelled it. I was one of the first to buy it. I bought it on December 26th, 2024 when it came out. But people herald it as a 2025 release because 2025 was 6 days later. So this technically classes as a 2025 release because it literally came out at the last week, not even a full week left of the year in 2024. And cry to your mama, argue with your uncle. I don't want to hear it because I think Dior Homme Parfum, the new version, is damn good. Again, cry to your mama, argue with your uncle, leave TLTG, fuck alone. Because I heard it early in the year. I heard all the complaints. I heard all the gripes. If you don't like it, keep it to yourself. Go bring it to a forum because I've already had to hear it throughout the year, the several times I've talked about it. I don't want to hear the complaints. People are like, oh, you're a social media influencer. You need it. No, not a democracy. My channel, not a democracy. This is a really good fragrance. Yes, the previous version of Dior Homme Parfum is an arguable masterpiece. I've always said, and recently said, it's the greatest iris fragrance ever created. I truly believe that. I think it's masterfully composed. It's amazing. I got 275 mLs that I'll never go through. I'm cool with them making a new version of something new for me to try. Dior is good for that. They got a new in-house perfumer with Francis Kirkjohn. He's trying different things. And I like it. It starts off dry, waxy, hey iris combo, which is short-lived. I do wish it lasted longer. I wish what you got in the opening hung out for a couple of hours instead of just like an hour, hour and a half. Pretty much the main projection side is when you're going to get the main levels of iris. Then it dries into more of kind of a cross between modern Dior Homme 2020 and Dior Homme Intense. The sweetness of Dior Homme Intense, that sweet, woody, aromatic DNA, that kind of blends with a lot of the popular designers. People relate it to so many. They wanted to go Le Male Le Parfum, which is far more powdery than this. Armani Code Elixir, which is far more powdery than this. Just name that sweet iris designer fragrance, and people have put it in the smells like category. To downplay this one, to short chains Francis Kirkjohn and Dior. This is a try before you buy. This is a go into it with an open mind. This is a go into it knowing it's not the previous version type of deal. And if you can go into this with an open mind and you like sweet designer fragrances, there's a really good chance you're going to like this fragrance. Performance is really good on it. It's not a monster like the previous version. That's an absolute monster. But this is a good fragrance. Not just good, one of the best releases of the year, in my opinion. Again, argue with your uncle, cry to your mama. Because I'm standing firm on this because I had to hear so much shit about this fragrance at the beginning of the year. Because I was one of the few content creators not shitting on it, from what I gathered. So naturally, I had to get the smoke. How dare you like this fragrance? Ugh, God. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to attack me because I like it. Because I do like it, so much so that it's in this video. Try it for yourself. Do not let the tribe skew you. Don't let me skew you. Because the tribe hates it and I like it. Try it for yourself. If you find it interesting, give it a shot. You may like it, you may not. But if you don't be your own judge, spray it on your own skin and smell it with your own nose, you won't truly be able to form your own opinion. Right? Don't be a sheep. Don't be told what to do by influencers, which includes me. If it interests you, try it. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. But don't attack others that do like it if you don't like it, because that's been a problem this year. One of the best designers released this year, in my opinion, Dior Homme Parfum, the new version. When this came out, I thought it was a fun one. Not the best price point for this. It got down in the low 100s, which I thought would be the sweet spot for this. I paid like $115 for this 50 ml. Comes in the one size. It's really good. You don't need a lot of sprays. It's almost like a leathery version of Profumo, almost, kind of, not quite. But I like it. It's a lot of leather and patchouli in the dry down. It starts off with that green aquatic smell of the base DNA. Acqua di Gio Elixir from Giorgio Armani. I'm a fan. I was a fan from the start. I like it. I think they did really good here. I wish it was a little bit bigger bottle. I wish it was at least like a 75 ml, but you know, I don't wear it all that often, as most fragrances. You know, I don't wear everything all that often. I've got thousands of bottles of fragrances at this point. But I really like what they did here. It's got depth. It's got character. It's true to the DNA. It's an appropriate flanker. It's a believable elixir flanker. It's got potency. It's got power. It's deep. It's rich. It's matured. And it pays homage. I think it checks all the boxes. Quality's decent. You know, known to be a very synthetic aquatic DNA. This one, they kind of rounded it off. A heavy labdanum patchouli dose that you get in here. Good with the marine accords, and I believe it's rosemary maybe is the green note that you get here. It's just really good. Really good fragrance. I strongly encourage you to try this. If you like any Acqua di Gios, you should definitely try the Elixir. It is some good stuff. One of the best designers released this year, in my opinion, is Acqua di Gio Elixir. I've talked about it recently. I've given it its praise. I think it's one of the best ever created in this line. Stronger with You Parfum. Why do I feel that way? Because I get such a great dose of the roasted chestnut accord in this particular fragrance. I get it more in the Parfum than any other version, including the original DNA that introduced us to this DNA based around sweetness, spice, aromatics, and roasted chestnut. Here it's very warm, rich, thick, ambery, and has a nice dose of that roasted chestnut. It's good. It's so good. So good. Big fan of this one. And some of you might be like, well, I like the sandalwood flanker release this year better. That's in the next video. Spoiler, that's in the next video. I got that in the second tier. I think it was great too. I didn't want to have them both. It was like, which one do I think's better? Personally, I like this one more, but they were both. They released 2 flankers this year. Both great. Spoiler, the sandalwood fragrance is in the second tier video, which that's another 12 designers. And because we got so many good ones this year, we really did. It was a big year for sneakers and a big year for designer fragrances, just fragrances in general. But if you're into sneakers, oh my God, it was the biggest year ever. And 2026 is looking to try to top it. And if you're into fragrances, 2025, arguably the biggest year ever. And I don't know, we'll see what 2026 brings. But as far as date night, evenings, cooler weather, I think this is one of the best releases to come out this year. It has that sensual, you know, strong sex appeal to it. It's cozy. It's very, you know, pull her in close. It's warming. It's going to knife through cold easily through this winter. It's just really good. They always put out a really good flanker that ties to the original DNA. They prop her correctly. They twist while still having the base DNA in there. That's the way to do it. One of the best designers released this year, Stronger with You Parfum. On to my top 3. Hasn't changed. Since these 3 fragrances came out, they have been my top 3, starting with Spicebomb Metallic Musk from Viktor and Rolf. If you haven't tried this and you like the Spicebomb DNA, you really should. Take the original, little bit of a metallic accord, but more of this like kind of fizzy musk, almost aldehydic like, the way the musk comes across, a very fizzy, bubbly kind of smell at the top, with that spicy pepper, slight tobacco accord. Like I don't even think the tobacco accord's listed in the notes, but the original DNA is based around peppers and tobacco, and you do smell that here. Above average performance. No, it does not smell like Spicebomb Eau Fraiche or Spicebomb Fresh. That one is more around grapefruit and sea salt to freshen it up. That is a much fresher fragrance than this. This is just the freshest Spicebomb we've gotten since Spicebomb Fresh. This is fresher than Night Vision EDT. This is far fresher than Infrared EDT. It's just really, really freaking good. You could wear this year-round for anything. This is the modern signature scent fragrance in the DNA. Like if you're a big Spicebomb fan and you're like, I just wish they had one that was a little bit more well-rounded for me to wear more often, here you go. It'll work in the summer, easy on the sprays. It'll work in the winter. Get another spray or 2 out of it. You don't have to bathe in it. It's pretty strong. It's effective. It's attractive. And it doesn't smell like everything else. It's not a typical aromatic fougere. It's not a blue fragrance. It's not based around a ton of sweetness. It's just really good. The name is fitting. It is a metallic, musky Spicebomb. And it's one of the best releases of the year, hands down. Carolina Herrera brought the heat this year. These last two are both Carolina Herrera fragrances. And it's not the only men's releases of the year. I just think that's not even close. They were my favorites. Maybe not your favorites, but Bad Boy Elixir. Outside of the two Cobalts, the best one. This, as far as the ones that tie to Bad Boy DNA, because Cobalt Elixir don't really smell like that. Cacao, vanilla, sweet Bad Boy Extreme, Bad Boy Dazzling Garden. Just name that Bad Boy flanker, all the ones that tie to the original. The Cobalts are kind of their own thing. This has that DNA with a kind of slight rough and tumble, like edgy leather, spices, a lot of spices, and iris, of all things. It's a spicy leather iris fragrance blended with Carolina Herrera Bad Boy. What a banger. Great performance, needs the cold though. This is a heavy fragrance to wear. This is a spicy, darker fragrance. It's warm, very, very warm. It's just too much for the warm weather. And it develops too. What you get in the start, 20 minutes later it changes. An hour or two later it changes again. 2 hours later it changes again. It actually develops and nuances really well. They killed it with this fragrance. I know the lightning bolt bottle is a gimmick and it's not for everyone. I oddly like the lightning bolt bottle. Certain gimmick bottles are just, I don't know, interesting on a shelf, right? But the fragrance inside this bottle is one of the best designers released for men this year. And I think it's not close. I think when you put into play that it develops the way it does, and it's got so much nuance and a lot of depth. I mean, this is a very deep fragrance for being a mid-level designer that you can get under $100 from discounters for 100 ml. It's actually very impressive. Very impressive. And from the moment I smelled it, it was like this. I got this before the number one. This was number one until I got the next Carolina Herrera release. And we're about to dive into that. My number two favorite designer release this year, Bad Boy Elixir from Carolina Herrera. So my best winter designer fragrance video that I did, I want to say last week, my top 15. This was in there, so I've talked about it recently because as the weather gets cooler, the sprays are going to go on skin more. Carolina Herrera's 212 VIP Black Elixir. And we got more than one 212 VIP Black this year. We got New York Rodeo, which was more around patchouli. Come on now, I really want the wording. There we go. I want that wording to come out. So very gunmetal metallic, the way this bottle comes across. I've always liked these 212 VIP bottles. Licorice, still a star of the show. Vanilla, spices, a lot of spices. Both these top two in this video, very spicy fragrances. This one's not a ton of leather. There's a little pinch of it for sure. A little bit of earthiness, just a hint, but more about like the star anise, licorice, heavy doses of spices mixed with a little bit of sweetness is pretty much what it comes down to. Performance is great. This is mass appealing to the point to where I don't think for being what it is, like you would think date night fragrance. Yeah, sure. But I think just in general in the cooler weather, rock it. This is amazing. This is amazing. I got Parfum pulled up. Let's talk about the notes for a moment, shall we? Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. Sweet, synthetic, gourmand, spicy, creamy. That's interesting. So lavender, grapefruit, juniper, aromatic, citrusy. Not as fresh as you may think, but bright for sure. Licorice, orange blossom, saffron. That saffron comes across very peppery, very spicy. And then you got vanilla, oakwood, vetiver. So a lot of that base DNA, the licorice, the vanilla, the woods, the juniper, and lavender were in the 212 VIP Black. 212 VIP Black, I think if you're going on a date, go with that. It's a modern classic for date night. It doesn't really get the love it deserves. At one time it did. Nobody really talks about 212 VIP Black anymore. It's weird. It's a great fragrance for dinner dates. This just makes it super spicy and stronger. And honestly, I think more wearable for other situations outside of a date night. It's got that sensual, sexual, charismatic, just magnetic appeal of its previous version that it's flankering. But I just think it adds so much more to do so much more with it. Hence why it's my number one. Since the moment I smelled this fragrance, I was like, that's the best designer this year. And I have not changed my mind. And a ton of fragrances came out since this one. I got this one in the first quarter of 2025. A lot of designers have come out since, and I've bought most of them and or got PR. But I got most of the designers released this year. And this is my favorite. And it's not close. Best designer released in 2025, according to me, Carolina Herrera 212 VIP Black Elixir. Well, there you have it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There's links down below if you want to check any of these out. Of course, you don't have to buy nothing to watch these videos, but I sure do appreciate it. There is a second tier. I'm going to space the videos out a little bit. I do have the fragrances already set to the side. That was a little bit more of a challenge to pick the second tier because some things got left off. Spoiler, Amen Stellar. Pained me not to have it in there. Or did it? Because it might have made it last minute. But Prada, Paradigm, I recently spent more time with it since I went ahead and got a bottle. That squeaked in there. The wife loves that one on me. And it's a great versatile wear. That got a lot of heat this year for being kind of a basic fragrance release from Prada. My first impressions was as such. I was like, this is kind of boring from Prada. I expected more from Prada. It grew on me. So you never know what you're going to like till you spend some time with them. So that second tier, the next 12, that was a more challenging video to put together. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to like and subscribe if you leave. We'll see you on the next one.